If you still expect a woman to openly tell you that she's sexually interested, you're already operating too late in the game. Female desire does not announce itself, does not explain itself, and almost never confirms itself through words. It reveals itself long before that, through subtle shifts, silent adjustments, and behavioral changes that happen even before conscious choice is formed. The real problem isn't that men don't want to see these signs. It's that they were conditioned to look in the wrong place, for the wrong type of confirmation. Female desire was never designed to be verbalized. It was designed to be protected. And this is where most men fail without realizing it. While they wait for clarity, reassurance, or explicit interest, the body has already spoken through posture, breath, eye focus, rhythm, and spatial awareness. And the man who waits for verbal confirmation is always arriving at the end of a process that was decided long before he became aware of it. So here's the uncomfortable question. How many times have you mistaken silence for disinterest, when in reality, the decision had already been made at the level of instinct? This video is not about obvious signs. It's not about smiles, compliments, fast replies, or performative flirting. Those can be faked. What you're about to see are biological patterns that are extremely difficult to counterfeit, because they don't originate in strategy, but in instinct. These signals escape conscious control, and once you learn how to read them, something changes immediately inside you. The anxiety dissolves, the need to guess disappears, and you stop forcing interactions that were never meant to be forced. What I'm about to reveal is a silent mechanism, an invisible psychological law that governs how sexual attraction actually forms in real time. The invisible error. Most men are trained to believe that attraction is something they must extract through effort. They explain themselves too much, they justify, they seek emotional guarantees, and without noticing, their own body betrays them before their words ever arrive. Their voice tightens, their posture collapses, their breathing accelerates. The body signals uncertainty long before the mouth asks for reassurance. This is where respect quietly erodes. The man becomes reactive. He adapts to her mood. He waits for cues. He looks for green lights. And in doing so, he hands over direction. What he doesn't realize is that attraction does not respond to pursuit of certainty. It responds to emotional orientation, direction, weight, presence. Female attraction is not activated by what a man says, but by how he occupies space emotionally. And that brings us to the first signal. Sign 1. Her behavior shifts the moment you enter the space before a word is spoken, before the smile, before the interaction even begins. When sexual attraction is present, the body reacts first. There is a subtle but measurable change when you enter her perceptual field. Her posture reorganizes. Her movements become either more contained or more expressive. Her attention sharpens. The rhythm of her behavior adjusts, not because she decided to change, but because instinct already recalibrated her self-presentation. This phenomenon has been described in behavioral psychology as unconscious self-regulation of image. The person does not choose to adjust. The adjustment happens automatically in the presence of a biologically relevant stimulus. When a woman feels sexual attraction, she becomes more aware of herself without realizing it. Sometimes she softens, sometimes she becomes sharper, sometimes her energy lifts, sometimes it tightens. The variation doesn't matter. What matters is the contrast. Observe how she behaves with others. Then observe what changes when you appear. If the energy shifts specifically in your presence, something has already been activated. This is not politeness, it is selective attention. And at this stage, the body does not lie. The mistake most men make is looking for conscious signals. They want a bigger smile, a clearer invitation, a verbal opening. But the real signal lives in what changes without intention. In the micro-adjustments she doesn't even notice herself making. The correct response here is not confrontation, not testing, not commenting. It's silence, internal stillness, observation, calibration. The man who reads behavior does not rush. He does not force progression. He adjusts his own rhythm and allows the process to unfold naturally, because he understands that words always arrive after the body has already decided. Research in social neuroscience shows that attraction activates motor and attentional systems before conscious reasoning engages. The body aligns first. The narrative comes later, which means that by the time words appear, the emotional direction has often already been set. This is why men who rely on verbal confirmation are always late. Sign 2. She tests your emotional center, not your niceness. This is where many men misunderstand what's happening. Not every challenge is rejection. Not every contradiction is resistance. When sexual attraction is present, a woman does not seek approval. She evaluates strength. She introduces subtle friction, irony, contradiction, emotional ambiguity, not to push you away, but to observe what happens under pressure. The unprepared man collapses here. He explains. He defends. He tries to fix the atmosphere. His emotional center shifts outward. And the moment that happens, attraction weakens, not because he said the wrong thing, but because he revealed that emotion governs his direction. What's being tested is not your intelligence, it's your stability. Emotional self-regulation is unconsciously associated with status, leadership, and safety. A man who remains grounded under pressure communicates internal authority without saying a word. And authority, silent, calm, unreactive, is one of the most powerful triggers of desire. Here's the correct interpretation. If she tests you, it's because you matter. No one tests what is irrelevant. The mistake is trying to win approval. The correct move is to hold presence, few words, calm tone, no urgency to be understood, emotion felt but not displayed. When you respond without defensiveness, something shifts on the other side. The expected reaction doesn't arrive. The test loses momentum, and the evaluation recalibrates in your favor. This is the line that separates men who chase attraction from men who contain it. Sign 3. She invests consistent attention, but never full surrender. This is the signal that confuses most men, especially those driven by anxiety, because it doesn't look like what they were taught to expect. There is no immediate delivery, no emotional collapse, no full availability. Instead, there is presence, repeated, selective, intentional, paired with restraint. When sexual attraction is real, attention becomes recurrent. She returns. She reopens conversations. She tracks your mood, your tone, your direction. She observes how you move through space, how you respond, how you hold yourself over time. But she never gives everything at once. Something remains guarded. Something stays unsaid. To the anxious man, this feels like ambiguity. To the man who understands behavior, this is one of the strongest indicators of active desire. Carl Jung described desire as tension sustained between proximity and mystery, and that tension is not a game. It's an instinctive preservation mechanism. What is perceived as valuable is never rushed. It is approached, withdrawn from, revisited, tested again. Words are cheap. Attention costs energy. And sustained attention, without practical necessity, is always selective. Studies in social psychology consistently show that continuous attention is a far more reliable indicator of sexual interest than compliments or verbal affirmation. Compliments can be social. Attention requires investment. When a woman repeatedly returns without obligation, without urgency, without resolution, she is signaling something without saying it. I'm interested, but I'm still evaluating. And here is where most men destroy everything. They try to accelerate. They demand clarity. They push for definition. They seek emotional guarantees. This breaks the tension that desire needs to grow. Emotional haste communicates insecurity, and insecurity shifts hierarchy. The moment a man signals fear of loss, he loses position, not morally, but instinctively. The correct application here requires maturity. You maintain your rhythm. You don't compete for attention. You don't become excessively available just because she reappears. You receive her investment without trying to convert it into immediate commitment. And paradoxically, the more you allow space, the more her investment tends to deepen on its own, because desire expands in space, not pressure. When attention is consistent but controlled, desire is alive, and the man who understands this does not rush the process. He reads it. He adjusts, he holds his center, and he lets instinct do what instinct does best. Evolutionary psychology explains attraction as an adaptive response, not a social declaration. The body reacts first. The mind builds a narrative later, which is why behavior always precedes explanation. Those who understand this stop demanding words. They start reading patterns, the real secret behind the title. Here is the truth most men never hear. Sexual attraction is not triggered by manipulation. It is not created by techniques. It is not sustained by effort. It emerges from internal control, direction, emotional regulation, presence. The three signals you've seen: behavioral shift, emotional testing, sustained attention without surrender, are not tricks. They are responses to something internal being perceived. A man who is centered does not chase confirmation. A man who has direction does not react impulsively. A man who holds emotional authority does not beg for clarity. And this is why attraction forms around him without him asking for it. The moment you stop trying to extract desire and start embodying stability, something fundamental changes. Your posture relaxes, your breathing slows, your urgency disappears. You stop forcing moments, and paradoxically you begin to lead through rhythm. That leadership is felt before it is understood. This is not about dominance, it's about control of self. And self-control is read by the nervous system as safety, competence, and power. Strong identity transformation. There is a clear divide between two types of men. One waits for words, the other reads behavior. One reacts to silence with anxiety. The other reads silence as information. One seeks guarantees, the other holds position. And over time, that difference becomes visible everywhere. The anxious man explains himself. The centered man does not need to. The reactive man asks. And the grounded man receives. The man who begs for direction follows. The man who holds direction is followed. These are not opinions. They are patterns, and once you see them clearly, you cannot unsee them. Subtle, natural continuation. This level of perception is not intuitive, it is trained. It comes from understanding behavioral code, emotional calibration, and the silent dynamics of attraction in real time. That's what the system, the method, the code was built for. Not to give you lines, but to reprogram how you read reality. Some men will continue waiting for words. Others will learn to see what's already there, and that difference decides who leads and who only reacts.